Yogopanishads, Upanishads of the Yoga, the knowledge of the Yoga, reflecting in various Upanishads. Upanishads which have Yoga as the subject matter. These Yogopanishads belong to the various shakhas of the 4 Vedas of the Indian culture. Bharatiya Sanatana Dharma has a large knowledge base, a huge Vedic literature. These 4 Vedas contain 1108 shakhas, the branches, of which the Rig Veda has 21, the Yajurveda 109, Samaveda 1000, and the Atharvana Veda has 50 shakhas. These 1180 shakhas are supposed to have 1 Upanishad each, but we have only 108 known Upanishads available. Out of these 108 available Upanishads, 20 Upanishads are classified under the Yogopanishads. The Upanishads which have Yoga as their subject matter, and these Upanishads are not much well known in the entire yoga literature. But these Upanishads talk about various practices, various dimensions, and various anusthana and abhyasa. And these Upanishads give an insight to the practitioner, to the sadhaka, about the wide base, a deep knowledge, and expose the sadhaka to a wide range of practices suitable to the temperament of the practitioner. A yoga practitioner can choose based on his temperament or her temperament to achieve what Maharshi Patanjali defines yoga as a yogaha chittavritti nirodhaha. There is a tradition that the Upanishads also have been classified under Samanya Upanishads, Shaiva Upanishads, Shakta Upanishads, Vaishnava Upanishads, and of course the Yoga Upanishads. These Upanishads are all available in the form of print media. The Rig Veda has 10 important Upanishads, out of which 2 major or principal Upanishads, the Aitareya and the Kaushitaki Upanishads. Similarly, Samaveda has 16 number of Upanishads, out of which Chandogya and the Kena Upanishad are the most important and well known. Krishna Yajurveda has 32 Upanishads, out of which Taittiriya, Katha, Shvetashvatara and Maitrayani Upanishads are quite well known and popular. Shukla Yajurveda has 19 Upanishads, out of which Brihadaranyaka and the Ishopanishad are well known. Similarly, the Atharvana Veda has 31 Upanishads, and out of them the Mundaka, Mandukya and the Prashna Upanishad are quite very well known in the field of the Upanishads and the Arshavangmayam. The Yogopanishads are supposed to have been culled out, made to the entire knowledge base of the yoga quite very recently. And it was around 18th century. There were a famous personality considered to be an incarnation of the Vyasa himself, Upanishad Brahma Yogin, who was supposed to have been written a commentary on all the 108 Upanishads. Upanishad Brahma Yogin was born in Brahmapuram in Tamil Nadu, a contemporary to the famous singer Tyagaraja. It is said that Vasudevananda Saraswati initiated him into sannyasa in Kanchipuram, and because of his knowledge, depth and experience, he has been known as Upanishad Brahma Yogin. And of course, his original name was Ramachandrendra Saraswati. It was he who learnt entire Arshavangmayam from his father Shivakameshwara, who has taught him, trained him in the field of Vedic knowledge, Upanishads, and in the field of yoga. The Yogopanishads, which are identified, classified, and are known from these commentaries of Upanishad Brahma Yogin, are available but not well known, or what we can say are not much popular, even in the field and the knowledge of the yoga, or even in the field and knowledge of the Upanishads. So the Samaveda, the Rigveda, the Krishna Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, and the Atharvana Veda, which form the base, which form the root of these Upanishads. And this Vedic knowledge expressed, manifested, elaborated in these Yogopanishads is quite amazing. The common and the normal understanding and the feeling is that yoga has no base, has no root in the ancient Indian Vedic literature. But the existence, commentaries of the Yogopanishads removes that perception and establishes that yoga has its roots in the Sanatana Dharma, the Arshavangmayam, in the Vedic literature. This is an important discovery dimension in the field of yogic knowledge And in the field of science of yoga, various topics have been discussed in these Yogopanishads. The Mantra Yoga, the Laya Yoga, Kata Yoga, Raja Yoga, Samadhi Yoga, and various techniques of meditation, pranayama, are found in these Upanishads. It is a treasure of hidden knowledge. The Advaita Taraka Upanishad, for example, talks about Taraka Yoga. Amrita Bindu Upanishad talks about contemplation of the Brahman. Amrita Nadopanishad talks about the 6 components of the yoga, the pranava, the pranayama, and the places and the length and the colors of the prana and the other breaths. Brahmavidya Upanishad talks about the pranava, sushumna, Hamsa Vidya, Hamsa Yoga. Then the Darshana Upanishad talks about the 8 components of the yoga, the 10 Yamaniyamas, the 9 asanas, the nadis, types of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Dhyana Bindu Upanishad elaborates on the practices connected to the Brahman, pranava, the components of yoga, nadis, ajapa vidya, mahamudra, khechari, and the nadanusandhana. Hamsopanishad elaborates, discusses on the Hamsa Vidya, ajapa Hamsa, then Sagudopasana, then the experiences of the practice of sound, elaborates on the experiences of the Manolaya. Kurikopanishad talks about the eligibilities of the person who has to take up the path of yoga. Mahavakya Upanishad speaks about the aparoksha anubhava of the Advaita Vedanta, and it talks about the jnana phala, the result and the final gain of the knowledge. Nadabindu Upanishad, Pashupata Upanishad, Tejabindu Upanishad, Trishikhi Upanishad, Yoga Chudamani Upanishad. So they all contain wonderful practices. In fact, what we find in the modern era, the existent practices, which seems to be new, modern, newly added, newly discovered, or actually have their roots in these Upanishads. But it is surprising, and we are ignorant, that the roots are in this. And without this knowledge of the roots, we claim tall claims that we are the founders of the new system of yogic techniques. The ancient Yogopanishads talks about in-depth practices in detail. The Patanjala Yoga Sutras, the Hatha Pradipika, and the various known yogic texts have their own roots in these Yogopanishads. That is how Vedic knowledge, Arsha Vidya, Arsha Jnanam, the Vedas form the foundations of the entire knowledge system of the Bharatiya Sanatana Dharma Samskriti, the Indian culture. The Vedanta topics discussed in the Yogopanishads also is very quite interesting. The Vedantic dimension of the Yogopanishads, they talk about the ultimate reality as the Brahman. They give insights to the Ishvara, the creation, Hamsavidya, Jivan Muktaha, and finally realization, moksha, and other dimensions. Similarly, the Yogopanishads also elaborately deliberates on the yoga topics like eligibility of a person, the types of yogas, the components of yoga, prana, mudras, pranayama, bandhas, nadis, chakras, Nadanusandhana, Antarayas in the yoga obstacles, talks about the Unmani, Manolaya, Samadhi Phala, the results of the Samadhi. Not only that, even the yogic diet and the Kaivalya, the liberation. So, Yogopanishads contains such a vast, deep knowledge, hitherto unearthed, hitherto untouched, not brought out to the much wider public attention. This is an attempt to make them understand in a simple terms and to create an awareness, to inspire, to study in deep these Yogopanishads, which are the treasure house of the known and even now unknown yogic practices. There can be intense study, research on the various dimensions of these texts, Yogopanishads, just on Pranava, Omkara, and how it is to be practiced. These Upanishads go elaborate descriptions. We are very much indebted to Ramachandrendra Saraswati, well known as Upanishad Brahmayogin, who has written commentaries on all the 108 Upanishads. And these 20 Yogopanishads form part of these 108 Upanishads. As said earlier, Sri Ramachandrendra Saraswati, Upanishad Brahmayogin, was a contemporary to the famous saint Tyagaraja Swami. So in the following sessions, an attempt is made to summarize in brief all these 20 Upanishads. The attempt is only to instill an interest and make the yoga practitioners to study, go through these Yogopanishads in detail, and to enlarge our knowledge base and correct our practices, or even take up some new practices which will have a wide range of impact on our lifestyles. Ultimately, it is how we live our daily life in a most useful, simple and spiritual way. The Yoga Upanishadic knowledge should help us to transform our daily lifestyle. It should help us to iron out the angularities and make our personality a part of the large creation, to be a useful social human being. With this expectation, an attempt is made in the following sessions of all the 20 Yogopanishads as an introduction to them. We shall pray to none other than Maharshi Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakaruttam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.